am hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling.
Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10 today? We got a quick one for you today. Running a little bit late. I know I said I wasn't gonna be late, but damn it, I'm doing my best. I'm building I'm building a studio to the left of me. So we're converting the entire basement for the rest of the time I'm here. Podcast coming soon. My brother is coming soon. He's going to help me a lot with content. So we're setting up different workstations. So I've been building that all day. So running a little bit behind. And then my son has baseball this evening. But we're going to do a quick one. I don't know if Dano's on here yet. But I am going to do a test. I'm going to do a test on maybe the sports channel later this evening, just to make sure that the laptop that I'm going to use when I go out and have the remote set up will actually work with just sort of work out the kinks. So it's not going to be a serious stream. I might chat, talk some nonsense or whatever, but it's just going to be a quick little test later on this evening after baseball is over. But without any further ado, let's bring the action, y'all. I'm really excited for how hard we're about to push. Just think of think about how much one ski can do. Just wait until there's two skis, okay? If you didn't think one ski was enough, wait until there's two skis. So we're about to really crank things up. I'm very excited for that. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Bitcoin. Currently sitting at $103,200. Again, nothing too crazy. Any dips are for buying. I went on a shopping spree earlier. I mean, even in the micro, this is, you could say, a higher low. We've had a little bounce off of it. What did we get to? 101,000. I definitely went long on some things this morning. I definitely bought the dip. I'm practicing what I preach. In my opinion, all dips are for buying at this stage in the game. They're going to be short-lived, in my opinion, and we're already about to get across to the upside on the 5-hour chart, on the RSI, on the daily. Still a little hot, but nothing too crazy. We're at 74. So I anticipate, best case scenario, we're going to get back to the 702. There's a lot of support, as we can see, at the 618, 702. The 618 is 97,000, and we just see all of this support. Not only, let's draw a box so we can see it pretty clearly here. But we can see all of this, okay? So before you get your panties in a bunch, you know what I mean? What you need to understand is all of this was resistance and now will become support. So if we backtest to it, great opportunity, because that's the floor. And if we zoom out, well, if we can't zoom out, but that's a lot of support. This is daily charts. Okay, lots of candles here to catch us. So I anticipate any dips between now and, the next few weeks, few months are for buying. We are now in an uptrend. We was in a downtrend since April to from November through April. We were in a downtrend, and now Bitcoin is in an uptrend. And we've talked about this, but when Bitcoin goes in an uptrend, it's slowly and then suddenly. Okay? Slowly, suddenly. Slowly, suddenly. When it breaks a downtrend, okay, same thing. Downtrend over here, uptrend, slowly and then suddenly. Okay? That's what Bitcoin does. Downtrend, breaks a downtrend slowly and then suddenly. I'm not going to be greedy, because I know that is what is next. Leroy Jenkins, broski. Do you think we're going more down? More down what? On what? Me, myself, and I says Meta might buy Ripple. Thoughts? That would be crazy. It makes sense. Let me ponder on that. Okay, I wasn't ready for that question. Let me ponder on that. Okay, what do we know about Meta? What do we know about Ripple? In my opinion, both of these companies are companies of world domination, take over the world companies. Big Brother type companies. Mark Zuckerberg's like, I had no choice but to play Big Brother. I'm sorry, guys. I had no choice but to play Big Brother. They made me. They made me do it. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. So if he's going to buy Ripple, that makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. Took a 2.5x profit on Bonk. Was a good timing. Listen, anytime you double your money, my rule of thumb is if you double your money, it's a good idea to go ahead and take 10 to 20% off the table. Keep doing that until you have recouped your initial investment. Once you have recouped your initial investment, swing for the fences. Now you can swing for home runs. Now you can swing for a grand slam. But the difference in crypto versus baseball, a grand slam in baseball is 4 runs maximum. A grand slam in crypto is 40 runs, 400 runs, 4,000 runs. Okay, so how I play this is I'm conservative. I take profits. I get my money back, and then I swing for the fences. Once you're with house money, you are risk-free. Grand slam, that is the name of the game. As many opportunities as you can set that up again and again and again. That is how you play the game. That is the game. That is ski 101 right there. Looking trappy, in my opinion, 2021 repeat. Hey, what's up? You said it moves slowly, then faster. Would you say we're on the slow phase now? I would say so. Grueling, and then suddenly. What up, bro? Cardano. I like Cardano a lot right here. 2468. That's my exit targets. Bitcoin dominance going back up. Jeff says, you going to change your name to plural when your bro comes on? Your boy ski. So on the crypto channel, he's going to be more behind the scenes. He's going to be helping me produce things. He's going to be helping me edit videos, helping me make graphics, things like that. He's going to be more behind the scenes. He knows about crypto, but not like that. He's going to be more behind the scenes on the crypto channel. The sports channel, he's going to be more of that's going to be his thing. And he's going to be helping me film videos, stuff like that. So he's going to be mostly a behind the scenes guy, except for the sports channel. He's going to be kind of the front man on that. It will be Bros Skis. I do think we have a channel called, or at least the Instagram. I think that the Instagram might be called Browns Bros, because he's a big Browns fan. I think that that's what it's called. I love it. Nothing like family to help build and grow. Yeah, I'm excited. So he's on the 30th is when he's going to come here, and we're going to build an Airbnb. We're going to build a cabin on my farm, and we're going to turn that into an Airbnb until I move there. When I move there, it's not going to be an Airbnb anymore, but it will be proof of concept to see hey, do I want to buy more land and put 4 or 5 of these cabins on there? So it's a good proof of concept / place to stay and stream, because that's the main thing. I want to have a place where I can stream no matter where I go. And so that's what I'm building. It's really a studio for me, but I'm going to Airbnb it out when I'm not there. So that's the plan. He's going to help me with that. He's going to help me with a lot of stuff. So I'm excited. How are we looking for ICP? I think I added to my position on ICP. So I had limit orders at $5.40. That got hit. I got limit orders at $5.33. That also got hit. So I am in a lot of margin, or not a lot, but a bigger margin position than most of the other trades that I'm in. If we get a little pump on ICP, I'm going to be looking to de-risk some of that margin and not swing for the fences as much on the first take profit. Maybe even 10-15% profit. I'm going to de-risk a good bit of that, and then start swinging for the fences. So how many? It's just, dude. It's literally like a 12 by 16 little tiny house cabin. That's what we're building. Just a bedroom. That's different than the house that I'm building. The house that I'm building is a 40 by 60 sort of barn dominium. So it's going to be half studio. I'm going to have like 5 studio sets in that, and then the other half is going to be the house, which is going to have an upstairs. So it'll be, you know, 4 or 5 bedrooms, I think. What's your prediction for Link in the next 7 days? Scenarios could be. Thanks in advance. I don't really do 7-day analysis. That's not really my thing. What I miss? Also curious on your thoughts on Pingu chart whenever time allows, please and thank you. I need to know who you think will be Browns running back 1. Judkins. Listen, he's there for a reason. We'll talk. Listen, I'm going to do we're definitely going to be doing a sports podcast. So make sure you guys subscribe to that channel, Ski Sports. I think it is on TikTok and on YouTube. I think that's what it's called, Ski Sports. But I will quickly answer your question when I look up Pingu. Even Nick Chubb in his prime was not good at getting 4th and 1. Nick Chubb in his prime was not great at getting 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. Jerome Ford he's a great fantasy guy. He was terrible at getting caught behind the line. That is not what Judkins is. Judkins is put his nose in the ground. See, NCAA tricked us. They put him as the spin meister. He didn't spin one time. Not one time did he spin the ball. He's put his nose in the ground and get you 3 or 4. And that's really all we need. Get ahead of the sticks. All right, listen, this looks good to me. I think that there's low inflation on this, right? Let me verify that. I'm pretty sure that is the case. What happened to the Cavs? They rugged the whole city, bro. I don't want to talk about it, man. No way, no how did I think, man. Okay, a little bit of inflation. So 1.23 is the FDV. So that's about, what, 40%, 30%? A little bit. But I would still anticipate a retracement. 3 cents here. 16187 cents. Okay. I'm going to say something about the Cavs real quick because my man Garland. Like, bro, it's the playoffs. I don't know how you sit. You got to be dead not to play. The Pacers, I said in my sports video that they were better than what people thought. Better than their record. But, yeah, I agree, man. That was, I really thought we had the squad this year. LeBron, come on. Come back to Cleveland. One time for the one time. Okay, we need a leader. You think we have more downside? How much pullback will XRP do? Listen, we're in the full moon energy right now. As funny as that might be, we just had the full moon. We're going to be here for a week or so. So 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 3 more days. That's what I anticipate. And then we're going to go back to the uptrend. That's what I think. Let's look at XRP, though. XRP prediction. My XRP prediction is still the same. $5, $8, $12. Low, medium, high. That is where I'll be taking profit. What is the downside right now? I think a higher low. We could come all the way back to $2.15 and it wouldn't be crazy. Realistically, you would probably anticipate $2.30 if you could get that. That would be a really good buy. But that's probably about as good as it's going to get, if not already down to $2.40. $2.30 I think is a realistic opportunity, but yeah. Ethereum go down or up? I think Ethereum has bottomed and is now working on an uptrend. So I've been long on Ethereum since 1788. Video evidence documented. Okay. Video evidence documented. I am in a long on Ethereum at 1788 because I said, listen, where Ethereum is at, where the chart is, it means one of two things. Either A, it's dead for real, or B, it's bottomed. And my bet was B, and I'm the biggest Ethereum hater known to man. Short scalp XRP here. Maybe. I'm just like, I'm looking for opportunities to go long on my top value coins. That's what I'm mostly doing right now. Ski, so Bitcoin and ETH go to all-time highs. Won't practically everything run? I think so. Listen, I am bullish. I told you guys before we pulled back when Bitcoin was at $106,000, when Ethereum was at, what did we get to? 2,700? Yes, we got to 2,700. I said any dips are for buying. That's what I said. I said we will have them. And we are in the phase of grueling up, in my opinion. And then I even tweeted it out. Everyone wanted to buy the dip until the dip gets here. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, I'm out. Dip is coming. The dip is here. The dip is here. Are you bullish for May? I'm bullish for right now. Yes. Are we in the SOS on XRP? I would say yes. I would say that's a fair assessment. When you said it's either dead or going to bounce ETH, I looked at the charts myself and bought at 1460. Let's go, bro. I didn't get it that low. I think I got it at 1780. I think that's when I opened my long. But I'm happy with that. Like, I did a 3x or 1.5x. What does SOS mean? SOS is the sign of strength. Okay. This is Wyckoff accumulation textbook. Sign of strength marks that the bottom is in. It doesn't mean up only. It just means that you're not going to make a new low. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour on XRP. Let's see. I don't look at the 4-hour, but it should be there on the 3 or the 5. Let's see. I don't see what I don't see that. You demand. But I am bullish on XRP. I think XRP has bottomed. I think that this is your sign of strength back test is what it looks like to me. Your boy skis. How am I going to explain to my family I got rich off Fartcoin? You hate to see it. Bitcoin. I do think that how low the total 3 go? If you don't know what the total 3 is, the total 3 measures everything that is not Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's a big basket. Realistically, we could backtest the prior range. That would not be weird. That would be 848 billion. That would be reasonable. But this might be it right here. We're already pretty low on the 5-hour. On the 3-hour, we're even lower. Altcoins, yes. Solnic 100x. Really? Solnic is my top 100x play. Period. And I think again we're creating a higher low again. Look at this. Come on now. This is your selling climax, your spring, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low again. It's been doing this. Extremely oversold on the RSI. It's about as good of an opportunity as it gets. It's been, this same thing has been at play for literally the entire history. Where do you buy Solnic? Phantom, Soulflare are the easiest way. Just buy Solana. You can buy it on Phantom, Soulflare, Jupiter, Radium, Seto X. You can buy it on Crypto.com wallet. You can buy it on Coinbase wallet. My opinion, the easiest way, buy Solana, send it to Phantom wallet, swap it on Phantom wallet. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Cha cha, real smooth now. He says, Solnic down 5%. My other 22 holdings are up 37% minimum the last 30 days. That's crazy, bro, because 30 days ago, like, how much you going to cherry pick, bro? How much are you going to cherry pick? What is 30 days ago? April, here we go. Here's 30 days ago. Is also up 37%. I didn't even measure it from the bottom to the top here. There you go. Also, when we pulled back, guess what? Name another sub $20 million market cap that pulled back less. Period. When you hear people say crypto is all pre-programmed, what is your response? Everything is pre-programmed. We're in the matrix. You're not just in the matrix, you are the matrix. When can we buy Solnic on Apple Pay? Literally any day now. We're waiting for on-chain. That is the next big thing. That is the next big thing. You do courses or mentorship? Yes, I do. $2x Solana or 2x ETH? I think they'll both 2x, actually. Actually, I think that Ethereum is a little bit... Oh, let me see. Which one has more value from here? Potential / likelihood. Probability / likelihood. I don't know the answer to that question. Now, if you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have definitely said Ethereum. But Ethereum's already done a crazy move. So let's see, actually, because I'm not sure. My target for Solana is about $510 is my medium case scenario. So that's a 2x from here. My medium case for Ethereum is 7,200. $1.8x. So slightly, I think Ethereum or Solana is a better value today, right now. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, it would have been Ethereum. Because Ethereum has been rocking and rolling, you know, from the bottom to the top, up a full X. Dogecoin 3x. I think Dogecoin 3x is very plausible. I do that. Can you take a look at Floki? Question mark. I got 20K at $2.55 on XRP. Did I guck up? I'm a little bit biased. You know, I don't think you're gonna like be at a crazy loss, but I don't think, like, reasonably, I think XRP is gonna go to $5 or $8. That's realistic, reasonable to me. Obviously, you would have liked to get XRP, you know, 5 years. It gave you this price over here. What is this price? If we go all the way back, we can see that this line, XRP was this price for 5 years. And that price is 48 cents. You know what I mean? So that's where I got it, under there. But that's where you would have liked to have gotten it. But I don't think you're going to be like crazy in the red or anything like that. Reasonably, I think XRP goes to $5 to $8. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you're 18, like I think, XRP is one of my top candidates to be here for 20 years from now. So if you're 18 and you're just accumulating and stacking your bag for the next 10, 20 years, I think that is I don't have anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? But that's my expectation. $5, $8. That is my expectation for this like next year or so. I think, listen, let me keep it a buck too. Like, you could have put 20K into a lot of worse stuff than XRP. You know what I mean? You could put 20K into like way worse stuff. I think you're gonna be just fine, especially 18 years old. Like, just keep stacking, find your fundamental projects and just stack for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. Like, don't even find projects that you believe are here for 5, 10, 20 years that have low to no inflation, and then just stack your bag and then don't even worry about it. That's what I would do. 20K could be 5K in the wrong, 100%. 20K could be $200 at the wrong coin. So, would you have liked to have gotten it at 48 cents? Sure. Are there like a 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 worse coins that you could have bought for 20K? Absolutely. So, yeah. And I believe in XRP for 20 years. So I think your downside protection in that is good. We still stacking H-bar in the bear. I am stacking H-bar in the bear for sure. Ski, best project, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, ADA, Link, Dot, AVAX, Near, Quant, Render, VChain, File, ARB, POL. Listen, all of those I love except for Filecoin. You probably got asked a million times, but how do you feel about ZBCN? I don't mind ZBCN. I think it's bottom. Ski, after what happened in December, April, all these normal pullbacks are terrifying. Good. That means you got to get calloused. You got to harden your callus, right? I got calluses on my hands from being a mechanic from powerlifting, right? I got these calluses on my hands. You see these calluses? You see these dogs barking? You see these calluses on my hand? You got to harden them calluses. You got to harden them calluses. Okay? What is the calluses? What is your financial callus? You need to be okay with dips. You cannot be moved by the dips. And once you become callous to the dips, you're a monster. What's your top 5 cryptos for the next 10 years, sir? Bitcoin, XRP, VChain, Solnic, H-bar. I eat calluses. Just getting into crypto. Any advice? Yes. Zutu, I have advice. DCA is the way. Okay? If you're not a nerd who's going to spend, 10, 12 hours a day looking at charts, which is most people, and that's fine. You don't need to be a nerd like me to be successful in this game. If you're not a nerd who's going to spend 10 to 12 hours a day in the charts, the next best thing you can do is find your fundamental projects that have low to no inflation and just buy every week regardless of price. It's best to just have the decision already made for you. You make the decision one time and then it automatically is coming out of your bank account to where you don't think about it. Okay, if you take the decision out of your hands, that's going to be the best thing. realistically, the people that make the most money are the people that buy and then forget about it. Like literally forgot that they bought it. I have a story that relates to this. I have a buddy of mine that we did a fundraiser for like a year ago. Okay, he was my captain when I used to be in the reserves like 10 years ago, and he helped me out during a terrible time in my life, right? And then he went through a tough time, and we did a fundraiser. We did a GoFundMe for him. We raised some money to help him and his family. And I gave him some Solnic. I was like, here, just hold on to this. You know, if I do what I say I'm going to do, and if I, you know, work hard, like if we do what we're trying to do, it's going to be worth a pretty penny. And, you know, I hadn't talked to him for like a year, and he calls me. And he's like, yeah, I forgot about this thing. I was like, Soul Flare? What is Soul Flare? Solnic, what is that? What is this? And long story short, it had done a 6x. There was many like highs and lows, right? At one time, it probably did a 20x for him. At one time, it probably was only worth like 50%, or it might have been down 50%, whatever. There was lots of volatility along the way. But after all is said and done, and the dust was settled, a year later, he was up a 6x and forgot about it. He's like, what is this? And that's just a nutshell story, like just a story to relate to, like, what is the best thing that most people can do is just buy and forget about it. Honestly, as long as it's a fundamental project, it's a real project that's doing real stuff, that doesn't have a crazy amount of inflation, that's the best strategy. That takes the least amount of bandwidth with the most amount of upside. So yeah, the best thing, just find your fundamental projects that you believe in. You need to check their FDV though. This is like one pro tip though. When you look at a project, whatever project, I don't know what the projects you like, but let's just start with the most basic, Bitcoin. All right. When you look at a project on CoinMarketCap and you look at the market cap, right? Where's the market cap? Oh, here we go. So right now the market cap on Bitcoin is $2.06 trillion, and the FDV, meaning the fully diluted value, meaning if all the supply that could ever exist was already in existence, this is what it would be. You want these numbers to be similar. That is just a snapshot to tell you, like, hey, there's not a lot of future inflation. You want these numbers, they don't need to be the same, but you want them to be in the same flavor, right? 20, 30% ideally within that margin. 40% is okay. Above that, it's a no for me, okay? Because that means there's lots of inflation, and price equals supply. Price equals supply. Supply. Price equals supply plus demand. We want the supply to be low. We want the demand to be high. That will get the most ROI, period. If a company or a project is dumping supply on your head, that's not good for ROI. So avoid those projects. Those are not DCA worthy. Price equals supply plus demand. Is that why you don't like Filecoin? That is, in fact, why I don't like Filecoin. That is why I don't like Filecoin. Because they've already dumped the supply. Now, there's not a lot future tense. When we look at Filecoin as an example, there's still some, but theirs is in the past. So like 2.4 billion is the market cap. Excuse me. The market cap is 1.97 billion. The FDV is 5.78 billion. So it's like a 3x of supply dumpage still to this day. But when we look at the market cap, right, this is a little bit more nerdy, and I try to keep it simple for you guys. You know, like I think there's different flavors, there's different levels to this, and I try to teach it at the smallest level and then like work from there. But when we look at Filecoin, So when you compare price to the market cap is the true price. I don't care what anybody tells you. Market cap is the true price of a coin. Let me say it again because I don't think you heard me. Market cap is the true price of a project. All right, where is my market cap for Filecoin? I have it on here somewhere. Dang it. It's on here somewhere. Here we go. All right, so that's that one. Where's the market cap? I have it on. I know I have it on here. I've done this before. Did they get rid of it? Let me look real quick. I'll look one more time. I know I have it on here. Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. So, when you look, the price and the market cap should be the same. They should be very similar. Okay, and I have a Fibonacci pulled. I'll delete them both so we can see it in real time. Okay. And all this is, all the Fibonacci is doing is just measuring like the level of where it's at. That's really it. Okay. So I'll delete this so we can show it in real time. On the top is the price. On the bottom is the market cap. And again, these should be the same. So I'm going to pull them both so you can see. This is Filecoin's price. This is Filecoin's market cap. Okay. I'm just going to pull it from this peak right here. This wick right here. We're going to do it the same. This wick to the bottom over here. And I'll make it perfect. To the lowest point. Okay. From the highest point to the lowest point. Let me make sure that this is the same too. Because this was April 20. Okay, so it's right here. April 21st. Same one. Okay, cool. Okay, April 21st. You can see when I scroll, these are the same. April 8th, April 8th. Okay, these are the same. Same dates. Now, when we look, let's just measure a identifiable point. An identifiable point is this peak right here. These peaks are the same. So this peak is the same. But when we look at the Fibonacci, what we see is that peak went to the 382. Okay? Let me show you where the 382 is on price. It's nowhere near. Meaning, what this means is that's the 382 right there. Same 382, same 382. Okay, we're tracking everybody on the same page. Okay, what that means is if there was no inflation, Filecoin during this peak right here in when was this? April of 2024. Filecoin should have gotten to $91, which was a 7x higher than what it went. That sucks. They robbed their investors of a 7x because of dilution. Why does the US dollar suck? Why does the US dollar suck? Because they're constantly diluting the product by printing money every single day. They are constantly diluting the product. It's no different. Crypto is no different. It shouldn't be that way, but we need to make sure it's not that way. Because price equals supply plus demand. Okay? So there we go. All right, what did I miss? Let's go Solana community, XRP and HBAR next bull market. It depends on how high they go and how low they go. That's a hard projection. So there you go. What percentage investments are you holding in cryptos versus equities? My biggest portfolio for me is split between real estate and crypto. I do have gold, silver, and I do have stocks, but it's just enough to keep me diversified. Like I'm not a huge believer in the stock market. I have some dividends, and I have some S&P 500, some VOO, all my stocks are super boring, but most of my portfolio is real estate and crypto. What's your view on Sui? Sui's okay. I think Sui will reasonably 2 to 3x from here. Why doesn't other cryptos move unless Bitcoin does? Bitcoin is the sun. That's like asking, why is it not daytime until the sun rises? Bitcoin is the sun of the market. Bitcoin is the genesis. You do not have day without the sun. Is it diluting the product if the product is becoming stronger in the long run? What is becoming stronger in the long run? What about XLM, $1 to $2? What has to happen to you to think we're bearish? Going parabolic? My grandma asked me about crypto. Listen, I promise you I'm not a permabull. Most of the coins that I was being asked about in November, I was bearish on. XCN was an example. Sui was an example. Penlink was an example. Landwolf was an example. I was bearish on all these coins and was begging my audience to take profit. Now, was I bullish? Yes, I was. 2021, I sold all of my crypto. I told the story about this. I'm not trying to be funny. This is really what happened to me in 2021. Did I sell the absolute top? No, I did not. I sold all of this, though. And I sold all of my crypto right here. This little pump right here is where I sold all of my crypto. Okay? So that was about $50,000 for Bitcoin. And the reason I did was because I went into a gas station. I've told this story before. I went into a gas station and I saw a Bitcoin ATM. And I was already fully in crypto. I was already making videos about it. I was already like really all about it, right? But this was the first time my online life met my real life. And I was outwardly excited. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I was literally out loud, like a crazy person. I was out loud excited. Oh my God, can you believe it? All these people are looking at me like I'm nuts. They were correct. And this person, you know, nothing against him, but he had he was buying a Black and Mild and a Colt 45. I like Colt 45. I like Black and Mild. Nothing against him. English was not his first language. And he tells me, as he sees me acting a fool, okay, he says, Bitcoin is finished. Shiba. That's what he told me. And I immediately was like, we're cooked. We're done for. I literally called my friend that minute and said, we are cooked. We are done for. And I went back and saw my biases, and that was the end of it. And that's when I sold all of my crypto in 2021. Maybe it was Emperor. All right, I got to go, guys. It's time for baseball. Time for baseball. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Sorry for the quick stream. I'll be live tomorrow. Ooh, yeah, I'll be live tomorrow with Alex. In the morning and in the evening, I'll be live with myself. I will not be live on Saturday. Saturday is the Mrs. Birthday. So shout out to Miss Ski. So I'll be off on Saturday, back on Sunday. But I'll be uploading content the whole time. But that's going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. If your boy Ski slides into your DMs and says, thank you for calling it Ski, it's not me, bro. I love you, but I don't have nothing to sell you. All right, guys. All right, peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.
Damn hustling, hustling.